Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
Yeah, baby, it is Friday, weekend time. Thank y'all for locking in for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, Virginia, get off the phone.
Yeah.
The podcast is
We're doing this right now.
Yeah, you have terrible timing.
Yeah.
We're on live.
Yeah.
Rocco's sick. I'm trying to make him a doctor's appointment.
Okay, we're assholes, Kev.
You don't know what it's like to have kids, Jay Bird.
You're right.
I'll
Yeah.
call you back if we can take the 11 o'clock.
Oh, she's still on. She's still on.
Gotta get that stuff booked.
Oh, poor little guy. He was coughing all night, so I feel bad.
Yeah.
He might have got what his sister had.
Yeah. Crazy.
Sorry, Jay Bird.
Oh, I don't give a shit. I'm just busting some balls here.
Yeah. Gosh, just weird today. I was just checking out some of the coverage and the political. It just, if you were watching any CNN or any of the news outlets today, just hearing them say shithole. Like
There's
over and over
Wolf.
again.
They're saying it?
They had a montage of Wolf. What's his name? Wolf.
Yeah, Blitzer.
He was saying it.
Yeah, they're just saying shit all over the place. They're going, what? Whoa, wait, hey, I guess it works. I saw somebody from our news station. I'm like, hey, do you guys get to say shithole today? She's like, no, it's only cable. I was like, oh, that's right, yeah.
Oh, cable can say it.
Yeah. Or you got to be doing a podcast, so.
Or you got to say it, record it, then bleep it out, then play it. And that seems very convenient.
Gosh, yeah, that's tough. That is tough. Well, I got an email here from Carly. She said, hey, been a KVJ show listener for years. You make my bad day at work brighter and more enjoyable. After listening to the ATS podcast today about Jason's plumber who got too comfortable and came in and started to eat snacks or something like that?
He turned I said I had to step out for about 10 or 15 minutes. He turned my TV on and he ate some of my candy, and I didn't offer it to him. And it wasn't like I was trying to be a dick. I just didn't think of it because I was leaving, coming back. And I came back, the TV was on, candy was open, wrappers were out there, and that was it. I didn't say anything.
He was having a party.
I just thought it was interesting. I wanted to bring it up to you guys to see if you thought it was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. And I had said basically, if I had that kind of business where it's like my employees were going into people's houses, I would just say, hey, look, a couple things, go in there, just do your job. That's it. Don't get, overly, chatty friendly. Don't be taking dumps in the toilets.
That's
Don't be
the
eating their
first
food.
rule.
Yeah. Well, apparently, Carly had a person from a cable company violate the first rule. Guy came in, was putting in my cable box in my new apartment, installed everything, and then asked if he could use my bathroom. I don't want to be rude, and I said, okay, yeah, I guess. And big mistake, because he ended up taking a shit in my brand new apartment.
Oh. A cable guy shit just seems like it's going to be healthier.
It's pretty
Elaine
messed up.
cable. Once he came out, he stated, sorry, that just came out of nowhere.
And he's gross with comments.
Yeah.
Dude.
And then he said his company's going to be calling for a survey and asking if I would give him 5 out of 5 stars.
That guy's got balls.
Dream on.
Wow. How about that? How do you handle this situation? In fact, Steve said here, did I overreact? Says here, 3 weeks ago, my uncle passed away. My favorite uncle. I spent the entire night before he passed with him and my aunt. He died at 3 a.m.
Oh.
Well, the next morning, without any sleep, my aunt asked me to go get her coffee from a popular chain, and I stopped to get gas on my way, and, well, I had some gas on my hands. I went into the bathroom of the coffee shop to wash my hands, and as I'm leaving, this girl walks in, and while I waited in line, the girl that went to the restroom after me started yelling at me for not putting down the toilet seat when I left the restroom. Like, really going after me, saying stuff about male privilege and, all this kind of stuff. And apparently, even the employees at the coffee shop started clapping. I was way too tired to fight back, so I apologized, but inside I was burning alive. So I ordered my aunt's coffee and a large double whipped double caramel frappuccino, and I walked over to the girl who was sitting, and I said, yeah, I just watched my uncle die in front of me 3 hours ago. I haven't slept for a full day, and I was only washing my hands because they smelled of gas. Next time, be damn sure of what you accuse someone of doing. This is for you. Then I dumped the frappuccino on her face and all over her clothes.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
That's a move.
She started crying and left the store screaming. I stood there for a second, staring at everyone that clapped. You could hear a pin drop.
Oh, my God.
Then I threw $2 on the ground. And I looked at the a-hole employees and I said, clean this mess. That was very satisfying. Did I overreact?
I mean, I did not see that M. Night Shyamalan ending at all.
Twist.
That
Twist.
is a twist.
That was a boss move.
Wow.
You're-
Gosh, jeez.
So that was a woman that wrote that email?
A woman named Steve, yeah.
Oh,
No, I don't know.
Steve?
No, it was a guy. Male privilege. Come on, Jay-Bird.
So he did that to a girl?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a strong move.
yeah.
That is balls.
I like everything up until the point of dumping the stuff on. You can't get physical with people.
No, you can't.
But I do like standing up for yourself and saying, fuck that. I didn't. My uncle died. I didn't piss.
I would have liked, in fact, as I was reading that, I'm like going, oh, you know what? That's a great move. Going ahead and give her a drink and be like going, you know what? I'm way above all that. And even though you were wrong and all this kind of stuff, and those a-hole employees are like trying to say, oh, yeah, look, typical like male being an a-hole. No, I'm rising above that. I'm going to show you that, no, don't judge all men the same way. Don't put me in a grouping. Don't think that men are something bad. Here I am giving you something good. But the only problem was you kind of like confirmed anything that might be bad about men by then taking it and putting an aggressive act on a female. So, yeah, you did kind of overreact. And, hey, I understand. You had a death in the family, hadn't slept, all this kind of stuff. But your question is, did I overreact? You did overreact.
You did.
Yes.
But, I mean, talk about a boss ending.
And
It's pretty unreal. It's an amazing story.
And to me, none of that happened has anything to do with gender. That to me, that just rude people back and forth. I mean,
There's, you break that down, there's a lot of lessons to be learned. One, don't jump to conclusions, because she jumped to the conclusion that he had left the toilet seat up.
And he didn't even pee.
Yeah. Also, pick your battles. I mean, let's say he did. So what? Put the damn seat down and be like, okay, yeah, unfortunately, everything in life is not rosy.
Why would you want to fight with a stranger about a toilet seat? Yeah, some people leave it up,
Right.
some people put it down. This is not something we should be fighting with each other about in public. It's not that big of a deal.
I absolutely loved your commentary today during our segment, What's on Your Mind, because you were just talking about how sometimes in life, you're supposed to go through some pain. You're supposed to fall. You're supposed to feel a little bit of sadness and frustration and a little bit of depression sometimes. This is part of being a human, and this is, in my opinion, how you grow, how you get stronger. I mean, you're gonna go out into the world. There's gonna be some shitty things that go on out there. Some you can control, some you cannot.
Things will be unfair. Life isn't keeping that kind of a scorecard where it's like going,
doesn't.
oh, somebody got one up on you, you got to get one back.
It does not work that way. You could do something right your entire life, and shit can still go wrong for you.
A public toilet seat is not that big of a deal. It's just not.
Yeah. And the other problem, too, you probably spent $8 on that fucking drink that you just dumped on her.
That's another good point. And you might be lowballing.
Too expensive of a revenge tactic.
I like the whole calling them out. Just don't get physical with people. Don't touch anybody.
I think you're all good until the dumping part.
Yep.
I'd just been like going, hey, you know what? I just got this for you. Thought maybe you could use it. I mean, in a sense, play up the fact that, all right, you need something nice to happen because obviously there's something that sets you off that's made you all crabby and all that kind of stuff. And there is one final lesson, too, for employees. Don't take sides.
Don't get involved.
Don't get political. Don't get involved because keep in mind, here's the thing. You're there for both of those people. You don't pick a side because they're both customers.
Well, you ended up
or
picking a
potential
side,
customers,
and
yeah.
you guys were all wrong.
You were wrong, and you alienated a client, a customer. Somebody that's probably going to affect, their decision-making in the future.
Stay out of it.
Yeah, so a lot of lessons there. So thank you for that valuable social lesson.
Yeah,
there
that was a
we got.
great email.
Thought-provoking.
You walk out of the
Yes.
bathroom and some strangers just screaming, male privilege. You're like, what the fuck is
What?
going on?
Why can't this shit happen when I'm at Starbucks? It's always so boring. Everybody's so polite.
See, I don't know, man. Maybe it's an attract, like people attract weird moments. I have one of those moments, it seems like once a week.
Yeah, I don't, unless I'm engaged with somebody, talking to somebody, when I'm talking to somebody or something like that, a social thing like a party, I'm all about eye contact. Otherwise, I just don't make eye contact with people. I walk past people. I'm just like, no, I don't want any of these kind of weird confrontations. People are great about leaving me alone. It's pretty awesome.
I love it that when Kevin does try to get involved and it backfires. I can think of 2 times it was awesome. When we're down in Miami, they're giving us this big tour. We're meeting all these employees, and Kevin goes, "Oh," he sees a picture of one
obviously somebody's child.
Yes, he goes, "Oh, beautiful daughter. That's my son," and everyone got really quiet.
We have a beautiful son.
We should have known it wasn't going to go well.
And then there was another time where
I got too cute.
Virginia,
One step too far.
Virginia was having like a little party, and Kevin was running a few minutes late. So there was this guy there who was telling me and Virginia and everyone there about how he just got fired. And he was
minutes ago.
I mean, devastated. And Kevin, you usually don't do small talk like this.
Yes.
And I seen the whole thing kind of develop. Like,
Kevin walked into the party.
He did.
Late.
Say, "Hey, how's it going?" So, "Hey, how's your job going?" "I just got fired." Breaks into tears, heads over to the balcony. We're like, "Oh my God, is that kid okay?"
Is he going to jump?
I know.
Then Kevin walked over to me. I'm never fucking asking anybody anything.
No. That's why I am the way I am, my man. There are reasons for doing what I do. I've learned valuable lessons. This is from Sarah. She said, "I'm requesting a 5-call says it all." Now, it's the podcast here, so we'll see what other people say, chat room it, or you can email us. She said, "Here's the thing. My husband and his 2 best friends are starting a movie review podcast. And they had the idea to review 2 Blaxploitation films. They honestly love the genre and are very excited for the subject. But here's my question. Is it okay for 3 30-year-old white men to talk about and critique black films? You've talked extensively about the mob mentality of our society lately, and I'm afraid of him reviewing the Blaxploitation culture." It's hard for me to say because I obviously am white myself and not of color. So
You're white?
Very.
You're almost translucent.
Very. Not by choice of my own. It's just the way God made me.
Yeah, can they put on instead of white, can we put see-through?
Translucent.
He looks like those geckos you see climbing on the wall.
Yeah.
You can see all their organs.
So I cannot comment on that. I have to wait for someone else. But I would tell you, doing a podcast, the one thing, if anything makes you feel better, Sarah, and they do it anyway, nobody listens to a majority of the podcasts anyway. So I don't know what kind of an audience they're going to get. I think a lot of people create podcasts thinking that millions of people are going to be listening to this thing. But I looked at the numbers of how many freaking podcasts there are out there. My gosh, it's a lot. I know just from, because I was doing a little bit of research with, the Godcast we were talking about. I just looked up Godcast, like 12 different podcasts with the name Godcast showed up. Then I look, 35,000 podcasts about just religion alone are out there.
Wow.
35,000 individual shows.
Just about religion.
Just about religion. That's a lot of stuff to listen to. And you go on those, and a lot of those have maybe no listens, maybe 2, and that was probably the person that made them.
It all depends. A couple things about that email. Yeah, you're allowed to say and do what you want when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
As far as you're not obviously saying horrible things, but just know that when you are going to do that and you put yourself out there, be ready for a backlash. I mean, you have the right to do that, but people also have the right to say, "We don't like that." It just depends on what you're able to take.
Can you define what a blaxploitation movie is?
It was a film genre that was in the 70s, and it was kind of like black action hero kind of like stuff. They had movies. Foxy Brown, I think, was one of them that they had. Like, for instance, when I did, because I was a film minor, we had a whole thing on the blaxploitation genre and the different films that were with it. And so, so that you would have, kind of a genre that, was out there so that you were having black movies that were made, at the time. They kind of like did their whole thing. And so they had, a lot of things that were just really, and they were just dripping. They were fantastic with black culture, And so, when you studied them, you're like, oh, wow, this is great. Yeah. Foxy Brown was one of them that I remember we studied that one specifically.
If you have love in your heart and you don't have malice intentions and you love those movies and you are legit giving a review, I don't see anything wrong with it. If that's what they're doing,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be afraid to give your opinion on stuff that you love when you have love in your heart. I'm so sick of people saying you can't do something just because it might offend some people, because there might be, just because.
Well, yeah, I think that's it. I mean, if you don't, it's a blaxploitation, and I say as long as you don't make it, anything that's racist, and I think
Yes.
there's a difference between racial and racist, and it's that last little suffix that you got on there, and that really sets the tone of how you're looking at it.
If you can't talk about things you love within other cultures, how are we ever going to not feel separate from one another?
Yeah, there was a movie I remember. It was called The Last Dragon from 1985. It was a blaxploitation homage to the prior Bruce Lee films, and instead of Bruce Lee, you had Bruce Leroy. And I remember it was so 80s and it was campy, and they would walk in, and I remember it was a "show enough." That was kind of like one of the catchphrases from that. I remember in college we loved it, so we'd always watch The Last Dragon. It was put on and produced by Barry Gordy from Motown.
Okay.
He had done the movie, and so we loved it. We always say "show enough" when we're doing that, and it was like, yeah, I mean, that's embracing and loving other people's culture.
Absolutely.
And that's-
Celebrating it, not mocking
Yeah,
it.
if you're gonna be a mocky dick, don't do that.
It's just there's a dickish tone to it. When you have a dickish tone to color, then that's the ist part. When you're just talking about it, loving it, saying, "Hey, this is
Celebrating it,
then
enjoying
that's
it.
racial, not racist."
Got it.
Dicky thrown into the mix. That's Dicky's bad in any stew pot.
Nobody can control how they're born.
Dickie's bad unless it's a beer called Dickie Red.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker was also
Love that movie.
Action Jackson. You might
Loved
remember that
it.
with Carl Weathers,
Yep.
who was Apollo Creed. Original Gangsters, Jackie Brown was another one. That was a big one. That was from 97. Well, they had an original, too. I think that was
They
a
did.
remake. Yeah. So they had original Jackie Brown. That was one of the big ones. So, yeah, we'll get, some comments, hopefully, from some of our African-American audience.
Just know
And
that
say-
anytime you do anything in the public eye, you're going to get backlash from somebody eventually about something. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah. So, anyway, we'll let you know, Sarah, when we get responses to that. Hopefully, somebody will give us a good, but I can't comment on it. I don't feel. I remove myself from
Why
those.
can't you comment on that?
Because I remove myself to the point, and I gave the comments that I feel like I can give.
Okay,
But-
well then you gave a comment then.
Yeah, I feel like I gave the comments that I can give. But, when it's talking about how would someone who is black feel about white people reviewing, I can't comment on that because I can't say. I don't know. So that's really the perspective I think she would like. I think that's the perspective that is deserved. And I think that sometimes when they talk about, people, black friends that I've had and whatever, and they talk about sometimes you just don't fully understand. I said, well, tell me, let me understand. Be like going, there's just certain nuances and things like that just to feel. And it's also, too, sometimes, and I've realized in life, it's not necessarily what you say. Sometimes it's the mouth it comes out of. And there is a big difference on that, and things will be taken differently based on what mouth it comes out of, because there's
I'm just a believer.
relatability to it.
I'm just a believer. If you don't have malice in your heart and you're coming from a place of love, I don't think that's a bad thing. And that's really the whole gist of it.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear any of the comments that come from it. So definitely let us know what y'all think. You can send us an email, mail@kvjshow.com, mail@kvjshow.com.
You're awfully quiet over there, Sinicki. Is that
Yeah.
because you're a white dude too?
I'm just soaking it in. Yeah, I mean, us white dudes, we like to soak it in and listen.
Yeah.
I think if we listen more, you learn more.
That's it. I think the one thing that I push back against is let's not kill the dialogue. Let's have the dialogue, and let's not get all hell bent out of shape and get all twisted before
What?
we hear what somebody's saying. Listen to it. In fact, listen, walk away from it, meditate on it, stew on it, think about it for a while, and say this is their perspective on it. That's so much of life is perspective. And then let's come back to the table and say, okay, interesting. I got some more questions. Let me continue talking about it.
For example, I just gave my opinion on the whole subject, and if you don't agree with me, there's no need to be mad or to hate. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
We can totally disagree and still love one another. I know I'm sounding like Tony fucking Robbins again. I get it.
Let me see. Got an email from Jason said, hey, the other day I was listening to you guys, and Kevin said that if we're listening outside the USA to contact you. In fact, it was just anywhere outside of South Florida is what I'd said for the KVJ nation map. It's global, baby. Said, well, I live in Colombia, and I've been listening to the show for about 2 years, and everything started because I was looking for a radio station in the USA to help me learn English, which you have done. But I also enjoy everything you have to say. I have learned plenty of vocabulary, bad stuff and all, and my listening has improved a lot. Thank you guys for that. I try to listen to the show on a daily basis. Greetings to everybody. So that's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I am doing the same factors. If there's anybody that is Spanish, speaks Spanish, and because I actually, no joke, really started to pick up on a lot of Spanish from watching Narcos.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was amazing because they were, and I loved it. They were full out speaking Spanish, and they had the subtitles, and I was listening, and after, I did 3 seasons, but after 1 season of binge watching, I'm like going, I heard phrases. You hear like a puta, and you're like going, oh, dang, okay. I'm kind of
Puta's what, whore?
I think it's like a motherfucker kind of like thing.
Real puta, okay. I thought that was whore.
Is it? Yeah, I don't
thought
know.
it was, but I'm wrong a
I
lot.
thought puta was bitch.
Bitch, it is bitch, yeah.
Yeah.
Puta, okay, yeah. So, yeah, I realized, okay, that's a Spanish bad word. And
I
it's
love
used.
that's the one we want to make sure we know how to get right.
What's coño? I remember when I played baseball, the guy struck out, coño.
There was one that was, and there was one that was pussy. I remember because, watching Narcos, that was the thing. They were kind of like trying to demasculize somebody, and they were calling him a pussy. Let me see. What
Okay, so coño means the female genitalia, the vulva. So I bet they're just calling themselves a pussy, I guess.
Yeah. That's right. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, in fact, I saw that. There was a guy that I think they wrote it on somebody's mirror that was in prison or something like that.
Oh.
If I remember right, yeah. That's right, that was it. Okay.
I wonder how much of that stuff, you see all that prison stuff on TV. I'm so fascinated by the real day-to-day activities in one of those intense prisons where they've got mixed burglars, they've got with the murderer, they have all of everybody. Is it to the point where you're walking all the time thinking you're going to get shanked?
I think every place is different. Every state is different.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it just matters how the sheriff runs that town or how the warden runs that jail.
Yeah, they always have those
I
movies.
think they're all different.
They always have the movie where the warden has got so much power and he's part evil too, and he's fucking shit. He's got a side deal with some of the guys in the cell. Love those movies.
They are great. Yeah.
So Vince Vaughn's got a new one. They're calling it one of the best updated prison movies. If you like those cheesy prison movies.
Oh, really? Okay.
He just had one that.
I need a Vince Vaughn. I haven't seen him do anything for a while.
They actually use his size pretty good in this because he's a big lumbering dude, and they make him kind of like a don't fuck with me kind of guy.
Really?
Yeah, you might like it.
Oh, he got a bigger frame. I could see. Did he put on meat or is it just regular him?
I think he's just put on meat from life since after Wedding Crashers. He's been a little puffy. We all have. We've all gained some weight. You lose it, you gain it.
Well, if you were all excited about hopping on the Brightline tomorrow, it's going to start running. I read this. It said within hours of opening, Brightline's online reservation system fouled up, showing that tickets were sold out for weeks.
Oh.
The train service had to stop selling tickets until the problem was fixed.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know if it is fixed. That still is the publishing of the story I read in the Sun Sentinel. The problem is fixed. Like, it's still ongoing. So I don't know if we're going to be on the damn trains or not.
Can you just walk up and buy a ticket?
Think so.
It starts tomorrow,
But
right?
the only thing that I would check out, and he's going to be it. In fact, if anybody rides Brightline this weekend between West Palm and Fort Lauderdale, that's the only thing running right now. Fort Lauderdale, Miami, going to be going here before too long. Let us know what the experience was like. Sun Sentinel, I saw, I think tomorrow at like 11 a.m., they got a ticket, and they're going to be kind of like doing a live, post to see what it looks like, the different, because there's 2 different, you can go kind of like regular, or you can go VIP, of course, it's South Florida. See what that's all about, what it's like. Yeah, can you walk up and get a ticket? The one thing I'd be worried about is if it is a reservation type system, let's say hey, let's walk up and get a ticket. Is it going to be that easy, or is it because it runs, I think, 9 times the entire weekend? I think is what it was.
Oh, okay.
So, it may not be something where, if you're used to like New York subway systems and things like that, like the LIRR.
There's not going to be a train coming along every 20 minutes.
Yeah, it might be like an hourly type thing is, how they're going to run. So imagine you go and you got your whole day planned and you show up and be like, hey, we're going to take the 9 a.m. train down to Fort Lauderdale or up to West Palm. And you get there and that train's sold out and there's no seats on it. You're like, oh, that sucks. Or you're going to wait an hour? And then you look and you're like, oh, that's the next train we get's noon. Then you're like, all right. You see, your whole day quickly spins out of control. So do you need to make sure you check ahead if you're going to be getting a seat on there? And I think,
would. If you want to make sure you're on it, you kind of need that online ticketing system, the one that just crashed.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I'm checking right now. I looked to see if there was an app, like maybe there's a Brightline app that you could go on and, check availability or pricing or times, and I don't see anything.
Uh-oh.
So it doesn't come up. Not to say there isn't one, but...
They might just be getting all that started, too.
Yeah. So, if you do ride Brightline this weekend, let us know what the experience was. Did you love it? Do they have it right? And I assume it's going to take them a while to kind of like work out all the kinks.
Growing pains.
Yeah. So, that's going to take a little bit of time to kind of figure all that crap out. So... let me see other stuff going on here today. Pretty excited about this. A company just released a line of smart underwear. They have sensors that read your heart rate, temperature, and more, and then interact with other smart devices in your house, like automatically changing the thermostat. So if your balls get too hot, it'll drop the temp for you.
What, you get a boner all of a sudden when the oven comes on? How's this thing going to work?
How great is that?
I don't know if I like that, man. Some of this technology is cool. Some of this shit's horrifying.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know exactly how I feel about
my
that.
My balls are warm enough.
Yeah.
What if your balls just run hot?
Well, they do. They're a lot like me. They run a little hot.
Could happen. They say if you're interested, you can pre-order, but it's $279 for 4 pair.
Wow. That seems like a lot.
That's crazy, huh?
$300 with tax?
They're electric, but they're like the electronic underwear, though. You can probably text from your text using your balls, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing because they got the CES, the big tech convention, has been going on this whole week in Las Vegas. So you got all these different things, that are coming out, and you're just like, okay. I mean, some it's like kind of cool, and sometimes they're going,
do we need that?
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. Do we need that? Like this. They say scientists in Australia just successfully tested an electronic pill that you swallow to monitor the gas in your stomach, and then you can watch the gas forming in real time on your phone.
That's creepy.
And in a sense, it's almost like a fart countdown.
Do I hate that or do I love it? A fart countdown sounds fun. But
You're sitting there looking, well, okay, let's say, for instance, and there are times where that would be convenient, especially like if you're in a romantic situation, you got a meeting that's going on, those kind of things, because you don't know.
Your phone goes 10. 9.
I gotta go real quick.
And when it gets to 4, you better be out of the room.
I'll be
Right.
back, guys.
Well, if you can plan it around, yeah. I mean, it's
All right,
kind of
all right.
tough.
I don't hate it.
It's kind of tough. I mean, there might be some things there if, it's working with your phone and like you could work out a schedule,
Fart impending.
Oh, I mean, I remember, the things that I don't know how, this pill would help. But, man, I remember, when you were in a relationship, and I remember, like, staying at a girl's house. And,
holding it in for 9
dude.
hours.
You were with a girl that didn't allow you to fart.
Yeah.
That
and so
sounds
As soon as you got your
awful.
car.
Oh, no. As soon as I shut the door to her place, it would be...
It pauses for a second and then keeps on going.
I remember I took about a 5-minute walk to my car and farted the entire way. I'm like, that had to be a record.
Freedom.
That had to be a record.
Oh, how relieved were you? You're
I mean,
like,
plants are wilting behind me. I was just like, this is unbelievable.
her house is on fire.
Yes. They say we're still probably a few years away from the pills being ready to hit the market. So until then, you got to just continue to play that guessing game. But that's the worst when you don't even know. Sometimes you eat something, you sometimes know, like I know a garlic or something like that. But every now and then I just eat and I'm like, it seemed benign.
But
like I'll have a wrap and like there was nothing that should have set it off. And I'm just like, holy crap, what happened?
But I've been working with you for almost 15 years now, and you got great fart control. Some people don't have that. Some people have a legit problem where they just sneak out constantly. No one on this show has that issue.
Yeah, no, we're
We think.
yeah.
Virginia's probably the worst, but you're still good. I've only heard Virginia fart, I think, twice in 15 years.
Yeah, if I don't have, and when she's got the lactose intolerant thing, so she's that way if she has any kind of dairy. I'm that way if I have any kind of garlic, but other than that, I'm pretty good.
Garlic gets you going.
That's it. And the problem with garlic is
Sometimes you don't know it's in the food.
you have no idea. And
You're like, oh, this is good.
I love the taste of it. So that's what's really dangerous because I eat it, I'll be like, this is flavorful and delicious. And then 3 minutes later, I'm like, oh no.
That's your own personal sudden death.
Oh, it's well, the worst is I have had that where I'm them going into like a meeting, or like something where it's like, oh no. And I mean, it's like uncontrollable, and it's nonstop. I mean, I could average 3 farts a minute.
You're very impressive because the farts you impersonate with your mouth, very spot on.
Yeah.
How do you do that? It sounds like a little trumpet.
A whole life practice. I've really been into farts my whole life. I don't
My
know why.
family too, man. We were raised on food and farts.
Yeah,
and love.
Yeah. Well, as a kid, I remember for fun, when I was in grade school and you could record cassette tapes. We'd sit there. That'd be all we'd do on sleepovers. We just record each other's farts the whole night, and then the next day we play back. Just that was just fun for us.
My oldest sister, the one that lives out in Oregon, if she's in the worst mood, all it takes is someone to fart, and she'll be on the ground almost about to pee.
Farts are funny.
She just loves farts. She thinks they're so funny.
There are different things in your life you can tell that separate. When you're going to connect with somebody. If I'm with somebody and they don't find farts funny, I'm just like, it's a real quick litmus test for me to see if our personalities are in sync.
Yes.
Where I would love hanging out with them for a long period of time, and if they're going, no, then I'm like, okay.
Kevin, I don't care for farts.
I could talk to you. And I think when it came down to the core, the reason why I'm not that girl anymore is she doesn't like farts. And I was like, I just realized, I'm like, I don't know if I can be the woman that doesn't like farts.
When we were back at Wild, I was dating this girl, and we were talking on the air. We were talking about farts and all this stuff. And then I get this text message. Worst conversation ever. Farts are so gross and not funny. And instantly I knew, well, there goes that one.
Yeah.
Another one bites dust.
Yeah. And I'm not saying you go up to people and fart on them, but if a fart happens, it's funny.
You're loose enough that, you can laugh at it and have a good time with it.
You can't be a dick about being an over farter.
No.
That's lawless.
You can't
Some
just
people, are too
use
familiar.
farts as a weapon, which somebody did to me once in
That ain't
Vegas.
cool.
Yeah.
That wasn't nice.
Well, it's happened to me a couple times. Kevin's wife.
Yeah, no, she does. And she'll use a fart as a weapon, and it is not cool.
That fart in that elevator.
I tell her that. It makes me mad. Now, in the time that we were driving down to Fort Lauderdale with the hurricane, and we were already stressed, and it was hot. And
Yep, September 17th, 2004. I remember.
She, farted and rolled up the windows and locked them because she was driving, and it was just odd.
Do you remember we had to pull over eventually? I threw up on that road trip.
Yeah.
I did. We had to pull over the car, and I threw up.
It's pretty amazing.
What the hell?
Well,
What kind of ragtag group is this?
We're a mess.
That's how we
Always a
roll.
mess.
That's how we roll.
We roll that way. So there you go.
Animals.
All right, let's hit everything that we got this weekend. Tonight, BB&T Center, Florida Panthers, Calgary Flames. We're doing the Zamboni matrimony tomorrow. You got Virginia. You could be doing a car thing, Bremen Honda.
Yes, from 11 to 1, I'll be at Bremen Honda in Green Acres.
Then right after that, we're going to be going from 2 to 4. She's going to head right over to the Malt Wellington Green. They got a Sleep Number store that's close to the theater and that little bar where hopefully Jaber and I are going to grab a beer or two before the whole event.
If you go in the Macy's entrance up on the second level, that's where we'll be.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we'll hopefully see you guys out this weekend. If not, we're back on Monday. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.